Good morning. Welcome to our panel discussion on the power of building digital financial ecosystem. My name is Michelle Lee. I'm your moderator. I'm the CEO of AMTD Digital. Today we have three fintech founders who brought their company into AMTD's SpiderNet ecosystem through the unique Fusion In program. They are Val Yap. She's our digital insurance supplement champion of AMTD Digital. She's also the founder and CEO of PolicyPal. And then we have Hai-Ping Chu. He's the CEO of One Exchange, also a subsidiary of AMTD Digital. Then we have Louis Liu. He's the founder and CEO of Fomo Pay and AMTD Digital's digital payments subject matter champion. So let me give you some introduction of what is AMTD's SpiderNet ecosystem and what AMTD Digital is doing. AMTD SpiderNet is a powerful ecosystem where we connect and collaborate with our partners, clients, friends from a wide range of industry. The AMTD Digital is the digital arm of AMTD Group. We're building a one-stop digital offering to Asian consumers and SMEs. We have the Airstar digital bank here in Hong Kong, and we are applying for the digital bank license in Singapore. Most powerfully, through our Fusion In program, we are absorbing the most talented entrepreneurs in the fintech space, such as Val, Louis, and Hai-Ping. So they are the champion in their different verticals. By acquiring those capabilities from these champions, we're able to build that one-stop digital financial and beyond financial offering to our customers. Okay, so that's about AMTD SpiderNet ecosystem and AMTD Digital. Let's go into the questions for the founders. Let me start with you, Val. So PolicyPal is doing quite well in insurance and insurtech. You are the first graduate from MAS FinTech Sandbox program, right? Then you got the insurance brokerage license from MAS. You're doing quite well on your own. Why did you decide to join AMTD Digital? Where do you see the benefits?
Thanks, Michelle. Hi, everyone. I'm Val, CEO and founder of PolicyPal. So we're based out of Singapore, and very deep thank you to Singapore regulator MAS for their initiative to actually support startup. That's why we're the first company to graduate from the MAS FinTech Sandbox, where we managed to scale our insurance management platform to become a licensed insurance broker and financial advisory firm. So today we work with 30 over companies to co-create new insurance products in the changing consumer needs. So as we just only begun our whole full potential to actually realize our purpose, which is to achieve the mission to empower individuals and SMEs, as well as the families, to have access to better insurance coverage for their everyday life. So early this year, we decided to actually join AMTD ecosystem, the very fast-growing full financial services platform across Asia. It marks the next step of our journey, starting ahead actually to realize our dream even faster. Why do we say so? Because with this partnership with AMTD, where AMTD today have a couple of digital banks that are in the roadmap that are planned out, as well as the whole ecosystem built up from SME lending, payments distribution partners, as well as even say One Exchange as a capital platform, where as PolicyPal, the new insurtech in the market, we see that we are able to scale up in a very unique model. How so? In this whole Asian market, we know that most of the banks work very, very closely with the insurance company. Some of them are actually owned by the same group. So, for example, in Singapore, one of the largest local bank called DBS they paid over 1.2 billion to Manulife, while like UOB actually paid 1.1 billion for Prudential for this partnership, while OCBC Bank owns Great Eastern. So with this kind of really close relationship through the traditional bancassurance, we see that being part of AMTD ecosystem, we can rebuild the whole digital financial services together with AMTD as well as other partners. So we call them the digital bancassurance 2.0 model, where we see that there will be future collaboration not only just with the digital banks, but it's also together with the digital payments and the rest of the ecosystem within AMTD network.
All right, thanks, Val. So that's digital bank plus insurance. Then we have a very powerful digital bank insurance that could potentially increase efficiency in the digital channel and reduce the cost for our customers.
Indeed.
Okay, Louis, please introduce what Fomo Pay's capabilities are and how do you fit into the MTD's ecosystem?
Thank you, Michelle. Hi everyone, this is Louis, CEO and founder of Fomo Pay from Singapore. Fomo has been providing one-stop digital payment solutions, including online payment, offline payment, and also digital cross-border remittance money processing solutions to the merchants and corporates in the past 5 years. Right. So this COVID-19 actually has made us realize the merchants who are facing the challenges during the COVID-19, they are not only looking for one single solution, regardless it's payment or it's just remittance. They will come back to Fomo and ask, hey, I need your help and we need a bundle of solutions to help me to make it through this tough time. So do you have a credit solution? Do you have financing solutions? Do you have even insurance solutions? Because you are my payment partners, you are my day-to-day business partners who are facilitating on my payment collection needs. But now I need more help during the COVID. That's the reason that make us to realize it's not enough to provide unbundled solutions to the merchants and market, even though we are already one of the market leaders in this area in Singapore. That's why when we hear about the AMTD SpiderNet, when we hear about the vision about AMTD Digital to run a platform strategies to fusion in different kind of financial institutions and solutions to provide a one suite of comprehensive end-to-end value-added financial service to the merchant and corporates, we realize, yes, that's what we need and that's what our merchant and customers need. That's why we choose to join AMTD Digital and we choose to join Fusion into the AMTD platforms to be able to provide the one-stop solution. Now we are very proud to tell our merchant, now Fomo is not only able to provide you a one-stop payment solution, but we are able to provide you a one-stop financial service solution, starting from payment, but now with PolicyPal for the insurance solutions, with CapBridge for the wealth management solutions, and also with our upcoming digital bank license for the banking solutions, and also some other partners for the loans and financing solution. So we are able to help our merchant and customers to fulfill their comprehensive needs compared to before, just one single payment or remittance needs. So that's the value we see in AMTD and SpiderNet, and also that's the value we bring to this ecosystem. Thanks, Michelle.
Thanks, Louis. I think that's exactly where we see AMTD can add value or empower the entrepreneurs. So I would say FinTech 1.0 is innovative FinTech startups focus on one vertical. Then in FinTech 2.0 or 3.0, we need to combine all the capabilities from different verticals and provide them one-stop offering, and also increase the touch points with customers, increase the data points with customers, so that increase the engagement, right, and the connectivity with customers. Okay, moving on to Hypay. Can you please explain what CapBridge and One Exchange do? And as a platform invested by SGX, you are doing quite well in private financing and digital assets exchange. So why did you decide to join MTD? What kind of synergies do you see with MTD?
Thank you, Michelle, and good morning, everyone. So I'm Haibing. I'm the CEO and founder of One Exchange and CapBridge. So maybe I'll first explain what we do at CapBridge at One Exchange. Basically, we are the very first regulated digital securities exchange addressing the $9 trillion alternative asset market. So what we do is that we are trying to make alternative investments more accessible and tradable among our investors. So we know investors today, they're always looking for above market returns, they're always looking to diversify their portfolio, but majority of those investors are restricted to only public equity. For example, the shares on SGX or Hong Kong Exchange. So what we do is that we provide a digital platform. It's very easy for them to be onboarded, and then they can then select the various alternative assets that may include, pre-IPO companies or unicorns or hedge funds, property funds, so on and so forth. This allows them to have potentially higher returns and diversification from the uncorrelated returns from these alternative assets. So we know that from experience that we are able to reduce the investment size. So typically when you invest in these type of assets, you need at least $1 or $2 million. However, on our exchange, we actually fractionalize the various assets. We reduce the investment lots to maybe 1 to 5K. So it's very accessible for investors to invest. The last thing we help them do is that typically when you invest in these alternative assets, you have to hold them for anywhere from 5 to 10 years. But that's where One Exchange comes in. We provide exchange where investors can easily trade their shares even after they've bought the assets. The other stakeholder which we see is very important are the companies. So the companies, as what Fomo and Paul and Val has mentioned, always have liquidity and financing needs. So right now, the only true option for financing and liquidity is the IPO. So you can IPO on SGX or Hong Kong Exchange, but the cost and the compliance is very high. So in Singapore, you may need like at least 1.5 to 2 million USD to IPO. In Hong Kong, you probably need anywhere from $2 to $3 million USD to IPO. What we are trying to do is to provide a very cost-effective, a very streamlined way for private companies to do a listing and get liquidity, and even without them to go through the full IPO. So moving on to the second part of the question, why did we choose to join AMTD? As you can imagine, as a private market ecosystem, we need to have as large an ecosystem as possible. We need to have a pipeline of quality issuers. We need to have a very large investor base to build the liquidity pools, which will then create powerful network effects. So I think on the issuer side, obviously AMTD is one of the leading investment banks in the world and obviously very well known in this part of the world. Obviously, there's many good issuers that some of them may not be ready to IPO yet. Some of them may be looking for alternatives. So that's where we see that we can collectively add a more holistic solution by providing a new pathway for liquidity that is lower cost and more streamlined as compared to the typical IPO. Obviously, on the investor front, we hope to have as large an investment pool as possible in order to deepen the liquidity. And the last thing that we see is that we do want to work with other professional service providers. So I think in terms of the private market, there are various actors. There's not only the investors and the companies, but there's also the other professional advisory firms, auditors, accountancy firms. So we want to work with the other professional services firms as under the AMTD SpiderNet, such as Nexia, which was recently joining the SpiderNet. So they also have many clients which are looking for financing and liquidity needs, and as what Louis also mentioned, many people out there are looking for financing and liquidity needs, and we hope to provide a new solution for this type of issuers.
Thank you, Haiping. I mean, yeah, that's exactly what we want to do. For example, the traditional way of investment banking is that you meet the issuers when they are ready for IPO, right? But that's not enough. We need to grow with our clients. We meet them, we help them with financing very early on when they are little, when they are small, right? Through your platform. Then later on, when they are ready, along the way, of course, we can provide commercial banking services, payment services, all that kind of things. But after they grow up, when they are ready for IPOs, then it's AMTD International. Exactly. We help them to list on SGX, Hong Kong Exchange, or global exchanges, right? So yeah. So thank you. So let's move on to some general questions for all three of you. So COVID, everybody's talking about, it's challenging, but it also means opportunities for the fintech industry. So what is at the top of your agenda this year and next? maybe starting with you, Val.
So for us at PolicyPal, our top agenda is first of all like helping our existing customers identify what the needs that they are looking out for, as well as building up actually educational content to the SMEs who are affected by the first wave of COVID, and preparing them if, let's say, there's a second wave or any continuation in terms of the market condition. What the potential risks that they might be facing. That's on like the growth of like the business, right? But at the same time, there's this like huge topic among like entrepreneurs about how do you embrace this pandemic and cope with like this whole COVID situation. So for entrepreneurs, I can see that like we are all opening up, actually lending support to one another. So finding people who have be it similar situation, it could be on a business context, it could be on like also personal and career growth as an entrepreneur, and then help out with other entrepreneurs, because the more you open, the more you share, the more actually you learn from one another. So just being part of AMTD like ecosystem, and now having like more of these startups who are part of the Fusion Lean program, we are very aligned in terms of our interests, in terms of like growing AMTD digital as well as lending support to one another. I think that's a really good platform for us already. And then what else do we do more is that we can actually start planning for like the next few years, what can we grow together on, as well as supporting one another.
How about you, Louis?
COVID-19 has accelerated the growth and adoption of the cashless payment where we are from, right? Much more significantly than the previous years. So one of the largest impact it has brought into our cashless payment industry is it has made the changes of people's mindset. So I will share from three mindset changes perspective to share with you what is our upcoming opportunities and challenges which we want to tap on. Number one is a mindset change of the merchants. So especially in Singapore and actually in many developed economies, most of the merchants, they are reluctant to adopt the new e-wallet payments or the new alternative payment method before, and cash is always one of the major payment tools both in Singapore and in Hong Kong, according to the survey in the market, right? But this COVID has brought the changes of the merchant's mindset. They don't want to touch the cash for hygiene issues, and government is also pushing for the cashless payment with a grant. That's why the growth in Singapore market itself has grown more than 300% compared to previous years during the similar time. Okay, that's number one. Number two is a mindset change of the consumer. And e-wallet payment and cashless payment is still a kind of fintech innovation. Is quite new. It's in the market for only a few years. And many elder people or many elder people who are very conservative about this kind of payment method. But right now, what's happening in Singapore is government is hiring some people, they call the digital ambassadors, to go to the street, to visit the elders in the community, to train them, to teach them how to use this kind of digital payment. And it can create jobs by government on the one side, and on the other side, it can drive the usage of the new technologies and cashless payment. So we see more and more consumers and users who start to first time to download and try this kind of new cashless payment, which is very promising. Number three, what we see is the mindset change from the regulator perspective. Fomo is the first batch recipient of the major payment institution license by Central Bank of Singapore, MAS, this year. And we are also applying for additional activities and license under our existing license framework. So government during the COVID is more open to explore the new kind of fintech innovations, or to encourage and support the new fintech innovations. But definitely they need to make sure the compliance and regulation control, right? But let's say the digital payment token is a new activities which is going to be officially regulated in Singapore, and government is issuing the license to allow the digital payment token operators to run, officially with a license in Singapore. This is a revolutionary progress, I would say. Right now in the worldwide market, only Japan and Hong Kong have pioneered to issue this kind of license, but Singapore Central Bank is going to issue soon. And many established players in the digital payment token area are also coming to Singapore and applying this license. And we are also seeing the government is having more support from a regulation perspective to run the sandbox, right? To support different kind of new initiatives to help the merchant, especially the SMEs, to figure out the new way to address their liquidity and financing needs, like what Haiping mentioned just now. So all in all, the mindset change is what we see the biggest impact that COVID has brought to both our cashless payment industry and also to the stakeholders of our industry. Back to you, Michelle.
Great business in payments, in digital banks, insurance, everything. Okay, Happy, how about you? What's on top of your agenda?
So I think with the impact of COVID, we have seen very similar changes in the mindset as to what Louis had mentioned. So obviously, when you're looking to onboard or invest in a company, there are certain activities which are done on a face-to-face level. However, because of COVID, we have seen more and more our stakeholders going more digital. So for example, we do have a KYC onboarding process for AIs or accredited investors. It used to be they'll come to our office and give us the entire stack of documents. Now more and more of them are more willing to do it online because of COVID. The second thing is that we used to have a lot of face-to-face, in-person webinars in order to introduce the companies or to do roadshows to investors. I think right now our investor base, which is normally of an older age. Before COVID, many of them didn't use Zoom, but now everyone is using Zoom. So it's very, very easy for us to do webinars now. In fact, we do probably more webinars now than in-person events. And lastly, whenever we list a company, we have like a listing ceremony at SGX. We have now moved into virtual listing ceremony because we're actually doing cross-border. So I think in terms of the mindset, it's actually more positive in the sense that it really allows the end user and the consumer to be forced to use more digital tools. And us being digital native and born in the cloud is really native and organic to us. With regards to what we want to do and what we want to focus on for the next part of the year, we're looking more to expand more into more products within the alternative asset universe. So majority of our investors we surveyed are looking for the next unicorn, the next pre-IPO company. However, we are looking into more products such as funds, hedge funds, property funds that can either provide higher income or maybe guaranteed corporate bonds. Basically, we want to provide more products and provide a more holistic investment service for our users.
All right, thank you, Haiping. Okay, to conclude, I want each of you to give some advice to your fellow fintech entrepreneurs, how to make the best out of the ecosystem and how to cope with COVID.
My quick advice is that I basically find out the key opportunity that you can tap onto, especially the world is moving to digital, as well as collaborate and open up to work with more of the other fintech partners.
So mine will be RIP. Yep. So be resilient, energizing, agile, and purposeful. So RIP. That's the secret to make it through the tough time during the COVID.
I think for me, our advice on entrepreneurs to start with MVP. You don't be afraid to test first before you go on because we need to break walls and move fast.
All right, thank you very much, panelists. We have a great panel. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.